Seth in here.
Oh, ye little faith, don't doubt the great Bex Henderson.
I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this show. I mostly watch a lot of true crime stuff, but getting to see this sort of more fictionalized take on it when it's still like a serial killer profiler and stuff is like, it's really awesome. So I'm excited to chat with you guys about it.
I'm actually curious about your perspective on this, because I'm really interested in the crossover between the true crime genre and this. So
yeah, I watch a lot of Forensic Files, so seeing this side of it was really fun to get a more personal side as well with you guys. And your two characters in particular, you start off really distrustful of each other, but that sort of fades over time as you get to know each other better over the course of the show. Can you guys talk about what making that sort of more dynamic evolution over the course of the series was like for you guys?
Well, I think the writers just saw how well we got along and they're like, we can't make them enemies anymore. So they made us friends instead. But no, I feel like anyone from Bex's perspective coming into the situation, not knowing anything, she's going to not trust a lot of people. And especially because Hassani murders someone in the first episode and he shoots someone right in front of her, and that's not how she wants to operate. And so that automatically sets up this like, factor for her. And then he proves that he is an ally. And so from there on out, she kind of leans into that.
And I think part of what makes this show so especially engaging is it's this really cool blend of a sort of case of the week format, but you also have this more overarching mystery of what actually happened at the pit. I'm curious for you guys if you have a particular criminal case in this season that you find especially interesting, that you're especially excited for fans to see.
Ooh. I'm a big fan of episode 4 and Malik because of how the tables are turned. You mentioned what the pit is up to and the kind of nefarious conspiratorial operations there. And then for us to be on the receiving end of what the pit is doing to the incoming inmates, I think it's just a really interesting flipping of the narrative, and I think it forces us, in terms of the overarching narrative, to gain a new perspective on what we're subjecting the audience to, really.
Yeah, I really liked that episode as well. I think episode 2 is also super interesting just because, I don't know why, it just tugged at my heartstrings a little bit because it almost feels like a killer who doesn't really know he's killing. And so that was interesting for me because it's like if I Am Sam was a serial killer, you're like, And so, yeah, I like that one.
Can I give you a quick scoop? Melissa, I just want to say, like, when I watched you talk him down in that episode, it flipped a switch for me. Like, I wasn't sure what the heart of the show was. But then when it's Clayton Jessup, right? When you come out from around the corner and the way you like the empathy you projected and the vulnerability you displayed to like not just connect with him but also talk him down, and then when like history's about to repeat itself and I'm about to take him down and you advocate for him and like not in the head this time. Like there was a moment there where I was like, oh shit, we're part of like actually something very human and special. And that was like a special moment for me too.
And both of you guys are no stranger to playing law enforcement in the past, but I would love to know for you guys if these roles in this project felt any different than your past experience on projects like The Flash and Manifest, and also just what keeps drawing you back to these sorts of law enforcement roles.
I like justice. yeah, on and off camera, I'm a big, like, if something's wrong, you got to fix it kind of girl, which doesn't always go very well. But I mean, truth be told, I'd love to play something different. But I think the reason that I do enjoy these roles or have enjoyed them so far is because it's really cool to see like a woman just being able to speak her mind and save the day on her own, and not on her own, but she has a team, but like without being the one being saved all the time. So yeah, that's why I like those roles.
I mean, I guess for me, there's I play both sides of the law quite a bit. And I think in Hassani, there's a character that kind of straddles both extremes of it. And I am a believer that there are just laws and unjust laws, and our justice system is imperfect, and that's up to us as citizens to constantly question, like, is this a just law or an unjust law? Is this something I should challenge? And I think Hassani, as this government spook, operates on both sides of the law, but has a clear moral compass and a sense of justice. And I think that's what's really exciting for me.
And Melissa, you mentioned loving justice, and I know you actually studied for a time, at least in college, criminal psychology. So,
yeah, I didn't get very far, but I did for a moment think I wanted to go down that path because, I grew up on Criminal Minds, and I also loved the true crime podcasts and TV shows, Unsolved Mysteries. I would watch like every day after school. And so figuring out the psychology of these people, and it's so far removed from what, how our brains work. And so I was like, that's interesting. But then I realized you have to actually deal with bad people, and I didn't want to do that. So, I took a couple courses and kind of started going down that path. And then I thought I'll just do the make-believe version instead.
Has it been fun getting to sort of live out that idea of being a profiler in this way?
Yeah, it has. I think there's been a couple episodes where it made me stop and go, are we all just like a couple degrees away, or a couple traumatic situations away, or bad upbringings away from like becoming these terrible people? Because sometimes like the backstory of these killers, like some were born bad and they're just bad, but like some also, it's like they went through bad stuff and they came out bad on the other end of it. And so it just kind of makes you pause. Again, not advocating for serial killers. Make that very clear.
Are we all a little bit serial killers?
A little killerish. Let's not make that the slug line.
That's the headline. There.
I know. That's how you get canceled.
I know that about does it for my time, but thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time to talk with me. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed this show. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We gotta go.
Harris abducted her from this place on purpose, and it wasn't to take her home.